Nick Foles is officially a Jag max, 4 years, $88 million with $50 million guaranteed. Are we cool with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with the number, but as many people have pointed out, who were the other bidders? You know, and then the Jags explanation, well, we guaranteed $50 million because we want to send a message to the team. The message you're sending to the team is that you're not very smart. I mean, like, there's no other way. What the market bears is what you pay the player, and it seems to me that they overpaid this player according to the market, unless there's some bidder I don't know about. I guess that's possible. But in terms of the actual dollars that they're investing in Nick Foles, no, I don't have a problem with that kind of in a vacuum. Nick Foles, given his age, you saw the stats with DeFilippo, right? You see the likely productivity, the fact that in addition to that, he has something about him that guys obviously like to play with. The team performed better with him than with Carson Wentz. I don't know that it's just about play calling. Even the defense was clutch when he was the quarterback, and you see some players have that effect on a team. So given his age, given what I just mentioned, $50 million for 4 years, so $12.5 million a year guaranteed for a quarterback. Like, that's really the guarantee when you prorate it. I got no problem with that number. Nick Foles, I think, is a really good player.
I think Nick Foles is a good player. I think that he is somebody, I'm happy that he's going to be a starting quarterback in the National Football League, and I get that people think that Jacksonville is ideal because Jacksonville just a couple of years ago within the AFC Championship game. I get that. But I'm of the mindset that the dollars are deserving, wrong team. I think the Washington Redskins should have brought him on board. I think that he should have been a member of the Washington Redskins. I don't think Alex Smith is going to be ready to come back from his injury next season. I think his career is in jeopardy. If you look at the Redskins last year, they had 5 different quarterbacks: Alex Smith, Josh Johnson, Colt McCoy. They even got Mr. Butt Fumble himself, Mark Sanchez, okay? And some guy named Tress Way actually started one game. They were completely and utterly decimated at the quarterback position. You go out and you get somebody like Nick Foles, who completed about 72% of his passes last year, who got them to the playoffs, who recorded a victory over the Chicago Bears, fresh off of a Super Bowl championship the year before. And now you're talking about him being within the same division.
Are you saying that's better for the Redskins or better for Nick Foles?
I'm saying both. You
think he has a better shot to win with the Redskins and the Jags?
Well, I think, when you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, Houston and Indy, Andrew Luck is back. All right, Indy is very, very formidable, particularly if they end up getting a Le'Veon Bell. Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans are not a team to be ignored, and the Tennessee Titans are relatively decent. They need to upgrade with Mariota. He needs to play better. But the fact of the matter is the AFC South is no joke. When you look at the NFC East, the Giants, Saquon, Odell Beckham Jr., what else you got? Philadelphia Eagles obviously are formidable. The Dallas Cowboys, we can't ignore. But the point is the NFC East is notoriously a roller coaster ride, up and down, year to year. You don't know which team is going to step up. And Nick Foles' familiarity with those teams within the NFC East, along with Washington's absolute unequivocal desperation at that position, I think it would have been best for him to be there.
Yeah, you know what? I'll say this about the money that Nick Foles got. Look, teams that enter into the first 24 to 48 hours of free agency, of unrestricted free agency, understand that they, at that point, have as little leverage as they're ever going to have when you're dealing with players who are hitting the market that have some demand, whether it's real or contrived, all right? Teams know they're going to pay premiums. You know if you get in here, a lot of times you're going to wind up striking deals that maybe you are bidding against yourself. Maybe you are setting the market. That's the price of doing business at this point in time. So, look, I'm not mad at the players. I'm not mad at what Nick Foles got. And relative to how the salary cap is booming, this is what's supposed to happen. It's supposed to trickle down to the players. So I'm not mad at that. Number 2, is it a good fit for him? It really is the only fit if you know what is important to Nick Foles and, personally, and what is important to him as far as his production on the football field. He needs to be somewhere with people who he has familiarity with, who know what kind of system he is comfortable with, what kind of play calls that he is comfortable with, how he likes to have game plans installed, how he likes to be corrected, how he likes to be talked to, how he likes to be communicated with. Really, of all the people that he has performed the best under, where else was he going to go? He's not going to go to Indianapolis with Frank Reich. He's not going to stay in Philadelphia with Doug Peterson. So really the only other person is John DeFilippo, who can really vouch for what it takes to have Nick Foles play at the highest level. And he wasn't going to go back to Kansas City and sit behind Patrick Mahomes and be with Andy Reid, and that just wasn't going to happen. So this is the best place for him. Now, relative to what he's going to bring there and what do the Jacksonville Jaguars need, and will he be able to live up to this contract? Look, there's no question they need someone who will protect the football. You cannot have the fourth most number of interceptions like Blake Bortles had over the past 2 years and expect to get to the promised land, which is the Super Bowl, which is where the Jacksonville Jaguars rightfully are shooting for. You can't do that. I think Nick can do that for them. He can produce big plays down the field. There's no question they need him to be the 2017 postseason Nick Foles, where he's throwing the ball for over 9 yards per attempt. He's throwing 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he's one of those guys who is in a flow and who is in a rhythm. His salary is going to demand that he play at that level, not put the entire team on his back. And that's not how they're constructed anyway. But it's going to demand that he plays at this level. No, that's why they paid him. Look, I think this was the only place when you add it all up that made the most sense for him as far as what you could reasonably get from him and going to a winning team. I think it was the only place.
Louis, does it strike you that Tom Coughlin has now designed yet another team with a really good defense, an offense kind of predicated on the run, and then brought in a clutch kind of playoff-style quarterback, decent in the regular season, really good when it matters most, with success against Tom Brady and the Patriots?
Yeah, I think it's not by accident. I think things have kind of played out this way to where you kind of see the big picture of maybe how Coach Coughlin really likes, Executive Coughlin now really likes to have his football teams put together. But I'll tell you this too, and Chris Mortensen alluded to this yesterday. As much as this seems like a black and blue collar type of approach to building a team, meaning try and build up the offensive line as much as you can. Have a guy like Leonard Fournette just pound the ball, run, play action, play great defense, ball control, field position.